This is Maarte. Not quite a podcast, more like voice memos you weren't supposed to hear. So this is going to be kind of heavy, but I'm going to try to lighten it a little bit. um I've been feeling really like I've had this really heavy weight in my chest the last few weeks, and it's definitely a culmination of a lot of things that have happened, a lot of changes in just, life. And I was looking at the calendar. I'm like, oh, we're getting into April. And I realized that in 19 days, it will be 6 years since we lost Pops. And my dad was the spine of the family. He was the coolest dude. My dad wasn't really a words guy. He was more like, you would say, okay, I love you. And instead of saying the words, dad would say, mm. And we all knew that he that was his way of saying love you too. Um so you knew exactly what it meant, but he didn't, even though he didn't say the words out loud, he always showed it with his actions. He was always fixing things, taking care of us, just making sure we were good, and that was his love language, acts of service. And my mom, very different. She's very tough on the outside, in her head a lot. She tends to put a lot of pressure on herself, and she just keeps everything inside. And for a long time, I didn't have a word for it. Um, and it kind of just hit me out of nowhere like, wow, she is very avoidant. But basically, those were the building blocks of love that I had growing up. One person who shows it, and one person who feels it, but doesn't always say it. And I somehow I came out feeling everything and saying everything. Um, Admittingly, not perfectly, but clearly. And for most of my life, my dad, again, he never really said, I love you. And we understood that, but we knew that he loved us. And then in my early 30s, dad was diagnosed with esophageal cancer, and everything shifted because when the person who holds everything together gets sick, you feel it. He went through treatment, fought through it, and went into remission. And after that, something inside of him softened. Not dramatically, just enough. And one day, we are getting off the phone, and I say, all right, Dad, I love you. I'll talk to you later. And he says, and he says it like he's very chipper when he says it. He says, love you more. And I paused. I didn't react in the moment because, partially because I was shocked, but I also didn't want to make a big deal of it. And so when I got off the phone, I kind of just sat there for a minute, like, whoa, what is this? I totally had a moment. And then I remember calling my brother and my niece, and I was like, dude, Pop said, love you more. And we were all just like, what? Like, it was just this thing, and we were just like, whoa, that's so crazy. And it was just like a very tiny moment, but it was fleeting. And I always remembered that. And, after that, it just became like not instinct, it just was an automatic. Like, he was love you more. And so fast forward to 2020, my parents are on a cruise, just enjoying life. They had both retired, and, they're having fun with their friends, just traveling. This was um, like right when COVID started. Probably they left on their cruise probably maybe a few weeks before COVID started. And yeah, both of my parents ended up getting COVID. Dad was admitted into the hospital, and mom was sent home to quarantine. And it got bad really fast. He was intubated, and we couldn't be there. And the doctor asked if we wanted a final call. And I remember being on FaceTime and just not being able to hold it together. Up until that point, I had been all about business. Like, I got all the information of the hospital, his doctor, and I appointed myself the contact because, mom was still sick and I didn't want her to have to worry about relaying messages to the family about how Pops was doing. And so up until then, I had been making the calls, following up, and just letting the family know, like, this is his progress, this is what's going on. And like, on that call, I just could not hold it together. I they they put all of us on a FaceTime call. I was living in the Northeast at the time, and mom, brother, and niece, they're in Texas, and we got on a FaceTime call, and they said, we're going to let you talk to your dad, so you can say your goodbyes. And I just, I had no words. Like, I don't know. Like, sometimes when I think back on it, I'm like, man, there's like so many things that I should have said. And, I couldn't, like, the only thing that I could muster out of my mouth was, I love you, Dad. My mom, my mom amazed me because she stepped in and she said, Poppy, that's what we called him. Poppy, we love you. We're going to be okay. We'll take care of each other. We understand if you have to leave. And I remember thinking like, wow, like, I was not expecting that from my mom. And that was it. And I think about that a lot. How easy it is to assume there's more time, to wait until it feels right or easier or less comfortable, but those moments don't wait. And because I don't want to be a person left holding everything I felt after it's too late to say it. So if I love you, you'll hear it. If you matter to me, you'll know. Because when it actually matters, you don't get another chance to. So don't wait to mean it out loud.